So 2016 seems to be the year of the meme, especially in these sort of mainstream terms, so I thought I'd join in. So when people start talking about Mirai and how I should analyze the code, I'm simply going to send you this. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Mazar Android Bot. I don't know how to pronounce it. If you're going to take the mic and accept that I can't pronounce it in any way, I don't know how to pronounce it, then you can put it down in the comments below. But yeah, it's not from HF, which is different from me, I know, but it's still a little bit bad, but we'll go into that because, to be honest, I'm not really sure about any of this, and yet I am at the same time, so it's really hard to... Yeah, I think we should just get into it. Basically, near February time, this bot was... Yeah, it was all about, weren't it? And everyone in the media was going mental over this. Spread by a harmless-looking link sent via text message, and somehow people clicked it and installed it, even though you had to have unverified apps or whatever it is on Android, unsecure apps, unticked for this. So you had to have a lot of trust for this random text message. But I'm not going to go into that because we could be here all day. So some of the comments, I think we should get into this first of all. This one here from Rich from Glasgow. Just want to say Norton isn't one of them good antiviruses that people think about. But then again, whenever I was in college, people used to just say, install an antivirus. Security! What can we say? Not those Russians again. Hope they get my husband. What? And this one as well. Get an iPhone and don't jailbreak it or change the date and you'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works. BlackBerry is the only secure phone. Nah, they have it specially built for them, okay? It's not like the default BlackBerry's completely secure, just nah. So the Russians have done it again. They've got into people's systems. That's what we seem to get every single day now. The Russians. And then you look at this is config PHP from the panel, and you're just like, well, I'm not that worried anymore, to be honest. It's not admin, it's admon. So, you know, they've changed one for the brute force, you know. That's going to be hard. It's running MySQL in root and also MD5. So overall 10 out of 10. You know, the auth for this, so we've got in config here, we see these. I don't want to say what it sounds like or what it looks like because obviously this person isn't an English speaker or writer, but we all know what that looks like. So that value there, if we look at the actual logic towards this, if this isn't set or that value does not equal the admin pass, okay? So this is redundant here. So yeah, as well as that, I don't really think I need to discuss what that's there for. That's awful. Anyway, so there's a lot of different things going on also in this Mazar bot. So we see a lot of different technologies, which, to be honest, I'm not a fan of when I see like complete different segmentation of tasks. So there's no actual talk about PHP from what I could see in the actual documentation, which leads me to believe that possibly this was from like the person who bought it and they were doing some weird shit and they actually bought from these guys the Python, which is what we've got here, and they set that up as well. I'm not too sure because I didn't actually, I got sent, well, I retrieved this from someone from Twitter, and so I can't really verify any of it. You know, the PHP side looks very vulnerable to cross-site scripting and SQL injection. Loving admon as well. Loving that and loving every piece of security in this. It also, the Mazarbot uses the Django web framework, which uses Python, which actually has some protections for cross-site request forgery, cross-site scripting, and SQL injection, amongst other things. But also, they don't have any brute force protections whatsoever. So there's some bits to it as well. Also, I want to put in here, frameworks don't always equal secure. They've got protections in place, but also we see from Node.js that now they have a dedicated security team. There's a reason why. Frameworks aren't always your best choice. If you're lazy and you want to use frameworks, I'm not going to judge. And also, sometimes frameworks are the best option because they have some insane capabilities. But I just want to put in there, doesn't always mean they're secure. So for me, like, I don't actually know the environment, but there's a lot of technologies here. We've got Mongo database, we also have PostgreSQL, and we also have here MySQL. I don't know if they're used in correlation or if their IP tables are used. I saw some IP tables, but it didn't look too conclusive. So that if you port scan, it seemed to like you're going to find a lot of treasure, especially with trying different authentications, as there's so much technology is being used here. The manual's very short and people are idiots. So you can also intercept SMS. This is from the Python, which actually, as I comment here, is actually really well documented. Gives me everything that I need to know, basically. And it's also wrote in English. So we have this Russian side as well and this English side. So I'm really sort of conflicted on what's going on, to be honest. But anyway, so yeah, you get this SMS interception, and also there's other methods that are pretty interesting that I don't show here. But in remote API, we don't get any crypto anyway. So it's processing requests remotely, and I've seen in no way any cryptography whatsoever. I see compression, but I don't see. So I'm led to believe that maybe it's sending it in plain text, which, you know, I guess phones are exempt from malware, you know, having encrypted communication. Apparently so. Not compressed seems pretty sassy, to be honest. I thought that, you know, there's an exception of IO error, and it seems like they pass it. But this comment here, not compressed actually, I just felt it was a bit sassy, so I thought I'd include it. I don't know why, yeah. So I thought I'd also include all of the commands that you can see. So device info, API. You know what, I don't need to list because I think you can see. And so enjoy looking at that. I'm just going to move me to the right here. It also does crash report as well, which is interesting. So there was quite a lot of thought being put into this, and it was actually really well wrote from what I could see. It was using a framework though, and that's the most interesting thing. It was using Python, which I didn't expect as well. Yeah, they're not shy on exception handling. They had quite a lot of exceptions, so they were ready for things to go wrong, which you don't see quite a lot in panels. Also, I saw this and I thought that's interesting. You know, we've talked about they steal credit cards. They look at trying to find credit cards. They also have different ways of intercepting SMS, but I didn't really understand what this was used in settings.py because I hadn't seen anything else to do with Bitcoin, so I didn't know if this was an unfinished feature or like this was something that I'd missed. But if someone's also analysed this and could tell me, because to be honest, I'm a little bit confused why this is here. So yeah, the media's scary story, of course, the wipe all data command we have, of course, is there. If someone can find the sample for Mazar, I actually haven't checked for the APK, but I'd like to also have the other side to it as well. This is incomplete, and so setting this up is going to be pretty tricky, and so like I thought maybe I should just set a PowerPoint and talk about the code. And also there's send GPS, which is pretty interesting. I think sending a GPS to a C2 is pretty scary, right? And also they use pgpw.py for their UID generation, which I found pretty interesting. And here's the options. It's always interesting to see where the code has got other bits of code. They did actually attribute quite a lot. They actually had a Stack Overflow article linked as well, so they weren't arseholes. And I mean by the terms of coding, like they did credit people. So there was that. So yeah, context. Don't know too much about the environment where this came from because this is from someone from Twitter. But the PHP, I don't know if I really want to attribute it to Mazar, but it was disgusting. Exploitation of framework is certainly possible. And I think it could be easily identifiable. And yeah, wiping your phone sounds a bit scary, but still, I don't think it needed the amount of scary stories that the media were putting out there. Hopefully you enjoyed a little analysis of the code and what I could get. Yeah, comment down below if you enjoyed, or if you want to say something to me. Yeah, I'm all good.
Sorry.